Alright, we're back with another DIY video on the second generation Cadillac SRX. In this case, it's a 2010 Cadillac SRX, but it should work on any of the second gen models. And I know you probably can't tell with the privacy glass on the back, but I actually have a rear camera on my vehicle that I installed, and so when I went to install it, I found there was very little information on how to tear apart the liftgate, and so I wanted to go back and tear it down again and make a short video. These are neat little cameras. I've got one in the front as well. They've both already, the front and the back one, have saved me some money. So you really need very little in the way of tools. Besides elbow grease, you need a size T30 Torx, and some sort of plastic prying tool is also helpful. Okay, to start off with, we need to remove the T30 Torx screw that's up in this handle area up here. And I like to use some sort of plastic pry tool to not mark up the plastic flap. And believe it or not, this is the only screw for this whole job. Everything else is snapped in place with retaining clips. So this is it. Everything else is elbow grease. Okay, so before we get started, I think it's helpful to understand how it is all this comes apart. So when you look at the underside of the hatch and look at the seams, it looks like there is actually four pieces of plastic. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And while there are 4 separate panels, 3 of them are connected on the back. So when you're removing this, you really only have 2 halves, 1 and 2. Alright, next I want to give you a preview of what is going on underneath here. I think that's helpful so that you understand how it comes apart and so nothing gets broken. Alright, next here we have a shot of the bottom half, and the red circles show where all 14 clips are. And so when you're pulling this piece off, of course this piece is going to come first, you're going to want to concentrate on the clips that are near the corners where this meets the upper half. It's also worth noting that on the bottom edge, those 2 clips will pull down away from the hatch. And here is a shot of the backside of the upper half. You can see that there are 10 clips on this side, and also want to point out that the 2 clips on either side, when you're pulling this panel off, you'll need to pull inwards towards the middle of the door. This was really tricky for me until I realized that was the direction you had to go with those. If you pull that direction, it'll come right off. Now you're going to want to start in the corners of where these 2 halves meet. And so this is kind of a preview of what you're going to find when the halves come apart, to kind of give you an idea of what you're trying to separate. Like I mentioned before, I like to start at the corners where the 2 halves meet. And so I like to start each corner and work on those 2 clips. After that, you just want to kind of start at the upper edge of this and release it. Now you can see here that it came off fairly easy for me, but keep in mind I've had this off a couple times before, so the clips are not as tough as they used to be. And you can see me struggling here on the bottom edge because I forgot that those 2 clips pull outward. And after that, there's just one wiring harness that needs to be disconnected. And this is what it looks like with the bottom half removed. So let's get started on the top half. And remember, these snaps pull towards the middle of the door. And after that, it's just a matter of pulling down on the remaining clips. And here we've got a view of what the underside of the liftgate looks like with all the plastics removed. And I just wanted to give you a close-up here on what you can expect to find once you get all the plastics removed. So next we're going to take a quick look at how I routed the power for my dash camera. I purchased a hardwire kit on Amazon for it, and in hindsight I wish I hadn't. It's prone to interference, and there's a little box, little transformer for it. It seems to create a lot of interference. Now originally I had ran and pulled power directly off the rear view camera, or the backup camera, but it was creating a lot of interference for that video feed, so I ended up routing the power through the door and directly to the fuse box. I'm still pulling off of the fuse for the backup camera, but it doesn't seem to create any interference this way. So that's how I did that. Okay, so reassembly is basically the reverse of how we tore it down. A quick tip here is that if we look again on the back of this upper half, there is a post right in the center. It's not an actual clip, it's just a post, and there's a corresponding hole in the body of the car. So if you want to line that post up with the hole in the body, it will make lining up the clips a lot easier. And you'll just have to push these side pieces up around the wiring harness a little to line up those side clips, and they should pop right back in. And now on to the bottom half. I didn't really get a good shot of it here, but don't forget to snap that wiring harness back together and start with the bottom edge, because those bottom clips push in a different direction than the rest of the clips, and then kind of work your way back up. And be real careful. If your hatch is set like mine, you can see what happened there. If your hatch is set like mine to only go up, if you've programmed it only to go up a certain height to avoid hitting your garage ceiling or your garage door, it's prone to pushing back upwards. So make sure that before you start this project, you may want to try pushing up and being sure it's not going to hit anything if it extends all the way up. And that about wraps things up for this project. Be sure to check out my channel. I've got some other DIYs posted there for this vehicle and a Cadillac CTS as well. Hope you guys will consider subscribing. I'll try to put some more videos like this up soon.